Hello everyone, welcome to day 4 of this very important P2P session conducted by ACCA Pakistan, and this is your instructor Rizwan Maniya. Before we proceed, a quick confirmation. Can people hear my voice clearly? Can you see my screen, and is the video clear to all of you or not? Please just confirm using the chat box. That's perfect. So, excited for day 4? Okay, great. So let's begin our session. Very important one. And yes, this is a very important session. This is all about performance measurement. Okay. So, uh, to remain connected after the webinar, those who are new today to today's session, those who are new to today's session, haven't joined any class before, this is the webinar first day. So this is my WhatsApp number. You can quickly send me a quick WhatsApp message and I will add you in the global performance management uh, group community where you can discuss things with each other. Secondly, a very important announcement: till 25th of May, make sure you all pay your subscription, ACCA subscription, so that you remain connected with the ACCA. Third, during the session, if you want to talk to me, talk means you can't speak to me, but yes, uh, you if you want to discuss anything, you can just write in the chat box, and yes, that's it. Okay. Yeah, I do remind every day that you have to pay your subscription, right? Now, I'm Rita Kumari. I will not be covering decision tree because today is performance measurement day. It's very important to focus on performance measurement. So it's budgets done, variances done, decision making done, performance measurement, and then tomorrow we have advanced costing technique. Those who are still new to the session, a quick reminder for all of you that you have to attend all the 5 days. Do follow the $1 million plan. I'm really sorry I could not share the $1 million plan for decision making, but I'll be doing that tomorrow morning tomorrow morning along with the performance management as well. So make sure that you do follow that plan. Really sorry could not do it today, but the plans are extremely important for you people. Okay. Grand revision Saturday. I've already announced this before. Make sure you all are part of that right after Friday. Okay. Chapters to read. As I mentioned earlier, I will definitely be telling you the names of the chapters tomorrow, day 5, so that you can now read the chapters according to your own convenience. Okay. Rest cover from my easy slides that you already have. I've shared the Google Drive link as well with you people. So the notes are there, I think, right? Mock is important. Get it checked by specialist PM tutor. It's important if you want to be part of my mock based session. So do remain active in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Yeah, it's this Saturday. Today's agenda, straightforward. Very important section of your paper, and it's like a heart. The importance of heart, we know. If this heart stops, we are gone. So this is the importance of this section for this paper of performance management. The break time, you all know. Okay, so let's not waste further time. Let's begin with financial and non-financial. First of all, I want to share a very good quick analysis with you people, just to tell you how important this entire section is, where you can see from December 27, lots of questions: financial, divisional, transfer pricing, financial, non-financial, divisional, transfer pricing, moving towards September, December 15, and ending here at December 2020, because after that we don't have any question available yet. So again, you can see transfer pricing, divisional performance, financial, non-financial. Wow, so many times have been tested in the examination. So let's have a good analysis here. Financial, non-financial is one category, divisional is the second category, transfer price is the third category. As I've divided this section into three areas, so 62% of the times tested financial, non-financial, which means 29 times this entire section has been tested in your exam since December 27 till December 2020. Out of that 29 times, 18 times financial, non-financial has been tested, 6 times divisional performance has been tested, 5 times transfer pricing has been tested. But whenever this transfer price comes, it comes with a pain. And you know, you people know it, if those who are, you know, those who have already given the exam before could not pass, and they saw transfer price in their paper. So definitely that is a nightmare for many students. So today I'll try to resolve it with my new $1,000,000 techniques. It's not the end. Oh, now let's analyze financial, non-financial. That's strange. So out of 29 times, as I mentioned, 18 times financial and non-financial have been tested. So now let's look at that 18 times it has been tested. So you can see for good analysis of financial, non-financial, different question names are here. So this definitely will help you in your preparation as well. Question like ties only, Pace Company, Jamir Bus, People's Bank, One Stop Car, uh, Duckland, Hammock Company. These all are very important questions of your exam, along with the others as well. So 18 times it has been tested, as you can see here. Okay. Now, the most recent question was this one that we have available as well. And this is a very different question. And I'll just try to make this really easy for you today. So I'll be solving this question today. Yes, now let's begin with the key areas and let's see what we have to start first with. So it's CSF. Now, I'm starting from financial and non-financial area, obviously, and the first term we have is critical success factors. I just need to make small bases here as well, so please just listen to me very carefully, everything. CSFs are what? Critical success factors, areas in which a business should win, okay? If you want to ensure successful business, maybe you are an education company, so the critical success factor for you will be what? Area where you should win, okay? So for an education company, I would say the critical success factor could be, for example, highly skilled, experienced tutors, all right? Uh, Timely course completion, right? Now, is it really difficult to think about these critical success factors? No, it depends on business to business. It depends on industry to industry. And you can think about these critical success factors, right? As I just showed you two CSFs here, like for any education business, it's really important that you need to have highly skilled tutors, right? You need to ensure timely course completion. Now, if I change the business and if I make this a restaurant, so for a restaurant, what you can think about the critical success factor? Those areas in which the restaurant should win, if they want to achieve their mission, if they want to achieve their goals. So area where it should win, okay? So what could be good critical success factor for a restaurant business, right? So you can say here It could be good customer service, right? Good customer service, that's a good one. Plus good ambience, right? Good ambience will definitely be a good critical success factor. What else? Hygienic conditions, hygienic food. Yeah, that will also be a good critical success factor. So when you go to a restaurant, what you look in restaurant, you look at the prompt service, good customer service, quality of the food. Yeah, that's also a good one. So let me just number these. Quality food could be the one. Second is what could be the next one? It's good ambience. Yeah, environment, perfect. Cleanliness, yeah, that's good one. Cleanliness, hygienic conditions. So these are very simple to think, right? And that's the basic thing. So it depends on business to business, and if the business changes, you need to think about those key factors that are important for the success of the organization, and these are known as critical success factors. Okay. Now, once you are clear how to figure out critical success factors, the next question that comes in, that are we following our critical success factors? Are we fulfilling our critical success factors? So in that case comes another very important term known as key performance indicators, known as KPIs. Okay, so these are the KPIs that will measure whether CSFs that we have identified above will be achieved or not. So these are the KPIs that will check whether CSFs will be achieved or not. So it's very important to figure out, my friends, what are key performance indicators. These are the measures that will be used to measure whether CSFs will be achieved or not. Are you getting the point, everyone? So now in that case, uh, we can bifurcate, we can split the KPIs into two areas, and one is financial indicators and second is non-financial indicators. So you can call these as financial KPIs, key financial key performance indicators, and you can even say this as non-financial key performance indicators. NFPIs or FPIs is also another word. So yes, these are very important. So these will actually check whether you are achieving your objectives or not. Okay, now when I say financial indicators, so there is a big list of that. Okay, and I've covered these lists previously in my webinars as well, and I'll share the $1 million plan, so you can just go back to those videos and watch there. A quick list revision would be gross profit margin, net profit margin, return on capital employed, asset turnover, current ratio, quick ratio, inventory days, receivable days, payable days, financial gearing, operational gearing, interest cover, dividend cover, percentage increase in sales, percentage increase in cost. So it's a big list of financial indicators, right? And I'm sure you all pretty much know what these actually mean, because it's a very basic one. So it's a big list of financial KPIs. But then comes the non-financial KPIs, and this is one area where I think my students are struggling. This is one area where I think my friends are struggling in examination, is the determination of non-financial performance indicators. We are not very much clear about NFPIs, okay? And this is the area where we struggle a lot as well. So yeah, NFPIs are very important. Like for example, if I can write few of the NFPIs here, it could be percentage customer repeat customers. Okay, percentage repeat customers is actually giving you the idea that how many came back. Now this is non-financial. You know what basically non-financials are those that do not use the basis of financial statements. That is, they are not being they are not being basically you do not figure out those using profit and loss statement or the balance sheets. Okay, they are not using the basis of P&L and balance sheet like financials are doing that, right? So percentage repeat customers, or I would say number of complaints made by the customers. Okay, and the other example could be number of positive customer feedbacks. Okay, plus you can say percentage claims made, percentage refunds given by the organization. So these are basically different type of non-financial indicators, the general ones I'm talking about, right? So this is where students are struggling, and this is where you need to be really good at. I'll give you a quick example here, just to make this more interesting for you. For example, if you are a profit organization, and if being a profit organization, what will be your objective, the primary objective I'm talking about? So obviously, your primary objective will be profit maximization, right? It's the only primary objective a profit organization has. Now, if I say, okay, can you achieve this profit maximization? Uh, can you achieve the profit maximization or not? So you will say, yeah, we can achieve this profit maximization, but for that we need to have what? We need to have a strategy, we need to have certain goals, aims, objectives, and all, secondary objectives and all. And after that, you need to determine CSFs as well. These are known as critical success factors. So after that, you need to determine CSFs as well. Okay. So now, for example, just to make it very simple for you right now, let's assume that there are two critical success factor your organization basically have decided to work on. And the first that you decided was sound financial performance. Now, sound financial performance is also a critical success factor for any general organization. So sound financial performance, okay, this is one CSF for you people, right? And the other you thought about was customer satisfaction. Yeah, so you said, okay, customer satisfaction is also very important for our organization. If you want to succeed, if you want to ensure a very good future for our organization, so we need to make sure that our customers are happy, right? So these are your critical success factors, just two right now to give you the example. Then you thought about how to ensure, how to check whether we will be achieving these CSFs or not. So for that, what you did, for that you started finding out the KPIs which are important to ensure all these things. And once you found out the KPIs, so you found out these are the KPIs which obviously are non-financial performance indicators, NFPIs, and these basically will check your customer satisfaction. Okay, so through these indicators, okay, through these indicators, you will actually check whether your customers are happy or not, and these all will help you, will give you a very good message or understanding as to whether your customers are really happy with you or not. So these are NFPIs basically that you will be using to check customer satisfaction. On the other hand, to ensure sound financial performance, obviously, you will be using now very traditional ones like percentage, ROAS, percentage, gross or net profit margin, and all those financial ones, the traditional ones, and these are known as financial performance indicators, which means the concept behind explaining this was that you can never and ever just rely on financial indicators only, and if your financial numbers, yeah, you need to keep this in your mind. If your financial numbers are still good in short term, but you are really compromising on customer satisfaction and your customers are not happy with you, so very soon, very soon, very soon, all these financial numbers will obviously be on the negative side, because customer happiness, customer satisfaction, making them happy is extremely important for your organization. This means you can't just rely on this, and that is why we say we need to strike a balance between financial and non-financial. We need to strike a balance between FPIs and NFPIs, because we can't just focus on FPIs, or we can't just focus on NFPIs. So that's why it's important to keep in mind that we need to go for a balanced approach here. Okay, so this is the core thing, this is the key thing for financial non-financial area, for this chapter, for this topic, that one needs to keep in mind that you can't just focus on FPIs, you also need to have NFPIs in place as well. Okay, and it's very important. And to be honest, I do say this very strict statement, and that is, if your non-financials are not good, if your customers are not happy with you, this means in future your financial numbers will also be not that good, and it will be, a declining trend will start for your business. So that's the message. I hope my message is clear. I hope the beginning of the topic is clear to all of you, what I've mentioned here. So you need to strike a balance between financial and non-financial. Now, tip of the day as I move towards my section C area. Exam tip is, if you're solving a 20-mark question, so remember it's 36 minutes that you have in your hand to find out the answer, and do the answer obviously. Then you need to follow instructions given in the question, understand the requirements. If there are any calculations, normally we do have calculations in this area, so we need to make a table. We don't normally use a tabular format, table format, and we just exactly just work out the ratios and all, and then we have to assess or discuss the performance of an organization. Okay, so before we start with the question, there are certain do's that I really want everybody to follow. These are 5 do's that everybody should be following, especially for performance measurement question. So let's see what the do's are. Read the requirement, that is the verb for performance measurement, non-financial and financial, non-financial. Yeah, it's very important to clarify, it's all about financial and non-financial that we are talking right now. Okay, so the verb could either be discuss or it could either be assess. Okay, so you need to just figure out what is written there. Now plan the answer according to 1.8 minutes per mark, and you know that, as I mentioned earlier, it's 36 minutes that are officially assigned to this question, so you have to keep in your mind 1.8 minutes per mark. That's perfect. Okay, having said that, the next is what? Follow simple working and writing strategy. And my writing strategy that I'll suggest you is CCD. Okay, what is CCD? It's very simple. Calculate, comment, and discuss. Calculate, comment, and discuss. Okay, now calculation is done when you have the data available. So you just work out the ratios that are relevant to the scenario, and I've covered this area in a very detailed way in my previous webinars. I'll share the link of that with you people, so you do watch that video for sure, for a very detailed discussion on this part already done previously. Okay, then after the calculation you go for the commenting. Commenting is what I'll just show you in a while, and then you go towards the discussion. That is the most important thing of your this question. The discussion is what, where you have to tell why something has changed, and do link with the scenario. So everything needs to be linked up with the scenario. Okay, so it's very important to figure out that everything needs to be linked up with the scenario, and your reasoning is very important in the normal performance measurement questions, where you have to tell the reasons why there is a change in a certain ratio, why it's gone up or why it has gone down, and why is extremely important. Okay. Use subheadings and different short paragraphs for your answer delivery. It should be well structured answer. If there are calculations, as I did mention, so normally what we do, we make a table, and in that table we show the calculations of the ratios, and after that we just use short small headings to present our answer. So it's a very simple 5 do's for a performance measurement question. Just make sure that you note this somewhere so that you can really apply the same thing in your examination as well. Okay. So it's a 36 marks pace strategy that I've shared with you people here. Now, after this, uh, this is the basically sample that is shown in the next slide about CCD. So CCD C is calculate that you the calculation of the ratio that you normally do, like this is 15% increase in revenue. Okay. Then we have the area of comment. Comment is what? Comment is basically simply showing you whether this is good or bad. Okay. So comment means that by looking at the percentages, you comment, okay, this is good or bad. Now, how to decide whether it's good or bad? So it's very simple. You need to compare your calculation. You need to compare your calculation with the comparatives that are available. Now, it could be the previous year data that is available. So you can just compare with previous year ratios. Plus, you can compare with the industry averages if there are given in the question, or you have some competitor information given, so you need to compare with that as well. So it's very important every time to see whether it's good or bad. How can I judge good or bad? If I stand in front of a mirror and I say, wow, see how handsome I am. Actually, I am, I know that. So if I say how handsome I am and how good I am, wow, you look awesome. Now people will say he's gone mad a bit. So why I'm gone mad a bit? So you will say, come on, you need to compare yourself with someone else. Okay. Until and unless you don't compare yourself with someone else, how can you judge, how can you say that I'm better than someone else, for example? So the point is, yeah, you can't compare with Salman Khan. Obviously, there's a big difference. Anyways, so coming back to the topic, so what I'm saying here is that I need to compare myself. Until and unless you don't compare yourself in isolation, you cannot judge that you are the best or you are the worst, right? So comparison is extremely important. So that is what is required. So when you're commenting that, okay, the ratio has gone up, it has gone down, and it is good or bad. So for that, definitely you need to compare with the comparatives, as I mentioned, previous average, industry, competitor. You need to compare with all those things, and then you have to comment, okay, this is good or this is bad, this is good or this is bad, this is what you write. Okay. The last thing that comes is very important, is the discussion of that. If it is good, now if it is good, so the question is why it is good, why it went up, why the ratio went up, why the sales percentage went up, why the gross profit margin went down. If it is bad, so the question is why it went down, whys. And yeah, in this whys, I would say no general comment, avoid general comment. It should all be very much linked to the scenario, very much linked to the case study. It's a simple formula, my friends. Just try to figure out. You can't guess things. You can't write on uh, uh, thinking of anything general. It's not something very generalized that you write. No, you have to link everything with a scenario. Link with scenario. Link with scenario. That's the very important thing that you keep in your mind. So as I mentioned this is how CCD normally works: calculate, comment, and discuss, right? No, with assumptions again. Everything should be connected with the scenarios. These days, the questions are so much clear in terms of scenarios. You once you read a scenario, you get afraid of that. Why you're afraid? The bigger the scenario, the more info you have, and that more info will be good for you to link. That's the best part, right? So this is something you have to keep in your mind. You need to link things a lot with the scenario. Okay, so do apply this technique after I share a $1 million plan with you and you watch certain previous videos, and after that you will apply this technique. I'm sure it will become really good for you. Anyways, so CCD done. Now I think we need to go back and we need to start up with the question. Now what I'll do here is I'm purposefully doing one thing for you people today, and that will really be interesting, beneficial for you people, is that I will be solving the entire answer on the CBE platform for you people for section C, just to give you the idea, just to remove your fear about solving this question, this particular question on our testing platform, and I'll show you how I'll make up the answer. I'll show you what my thought process will be. I'll show you how CB is an advantage for you people. I'll show you how word processing will be a very good option for you people. And today, inshallah, if you are with me till the end of the session, your fear of CBE solving 20-mark question on this platform will no more be a fear. In fact, it will be your strength now, inshallah. So my friends, here we are with this very important question of September December attempt, and many suffered a lot, and especially people do suffer a lot in question like these. Okay, it's a not-for-profit organization scenario, and normally in not-for-profit organizations, normally we use a very good technique known as value for money. That is known as VFM, value for money. Okay, but it's not a rule to follow. It's not a statement that you to follow. You have to be wise enough to understand the situation in the examination. You have to be wise enough to figure out what is being asked. Okay, so let's not conclude so early. Let's see what is being asked. For that, let's read the scenario. But my advice, strong advice to all of you, is that in section C, especially in section C, you read the requirements first. Okay, and once you're reading the requirement, at the same time just highlight the verbs and the object. You have this testing platform, you have this examination portal available, so let's learn how to use this in our own advantage, right? So I'll just use the highlighter button here as well. Now it says explain the problems which not-for-profit organization faces as a result of multiple objectives. So what I'm going to do is that I'll just highlight this very key term, that is explain. So this is the examinable verb. So what to explain? After every verb, ask yourself what is the object. So what to explain? So you have to explain what the problems which not-for-profit organization face. Okay, that's fine. Not-for-profit organization actually face lot of issues, right? Lot of issues. But right now the scenario is basically restricting you that problems of not-for-profit organization, but that results as face as a result of what? As a result of multiple objectives. Okay, so problems which NFPIs face as a result of multiple objectives. So because of having multiple objectives, what problems NFPIs will actually face. So this is the first requirement done. Make sure you scroll the things before you move towards the next slide. And now comes the second requirement. So let's read. Now this is a different one. Yes, it says assess. Now examinable verb is assess. Okay, the Tonford's school performance. School performance is what you need to assess against the objective set by DOE. Now, I want to make this very clear to all of you, because I'm teaching this paper since so many years, and I do teach advanced performance management exam as well. And I've seen that, in fact, because I do teach these two paper, very few people teach these two paper, and I've seen that what level advanced performance management has, I see certain glimpse of that in performance management. Okay, because I figured out that in the last few years that examiner wants to improve the students' mindset at this performance management level, so that if they go for APM later on in future, they do have a good passing ratio in APM, and they do have the prerequisites that are required. Otherwise, there is a huge gap between these two papers. So to fill the gap, examiner has changed the method of examination, especially for performance measurement area in past few years. And that's why you may have seen that every time you come up with performance measurement, a different sort of a question comes in your exam. Okay, so this is just to fill that gap. So as I mentioned here, that once you're reading the requirement of financial and non-financial, where you're mostly asked to either discuss or assess the performance. Okay, now it's a very general word, assess the performance. Okay, I just highlight this. Now here I want to add one thing, and please, this is $1,000,000 saying, I'm telling you people, that here I want to add one thing is that you don't restrict yourself to the word performance only. Because what I've seen, make sure you are listening what I'm saying. What I've seen is that every time if you just restrict yourself to the word performance, so you will make yourself very generalized. To make yourself according to the question requirement, just read further, assess performance, and there is some, and always there is some kind of a criteria given. Okay, criteria given, that you have to assess performance in relation to this, in relation to this, or in relation to this. There are so many examples you can see that you are given with this clarity, that assess the performance against what. Now it could be against the company's mission, against the company's vision, against the objectives set by the DOE. Now this is very important, because it's not a general assessment of the performance. There is some kind of a criteria mentioned, and that makes your life really easy, so that you know, okay, I have to assess the performance against these objectives that are stated in the scenario. So now your entire focus shifts from being general to being specific, and now you think specifically according to the scenario, and now you try to figure out what are the objectives mentioned in the question. So we just have to follow that criteria only. As you can very clearly see here, there are 4 objectives that are mentioned here, which you can see in this table, and these are the 4 objectives that are clearly mentioned here, and these are what you have to use against which you can assess the performance. Okay, so using the performance data published by DOE website, and you can see 4 objectives in template provided to structure the answer. So these are actually your broad headings as well, and under these broad headings you have to write the answer. Okay, had it been a APM exam, examiner would never give you so much clear guidelines as to what the criteria should be, but because it's performance measurement management paper, examiner has given you the headlines or the subheadings by himself. Anyways, so now is it clear that assess performance? Just try to read further, assess performance, and what is the criteria that you have to follow. Anyways, this is for 12 marks. I can go for a simple breakup of marks. That is, if there are 4 objectives, 4 objective, 12 marks. So it's 12 divided by 4. Straightforward. 12 divided by 4, which means for each heading, if you keep in your mind, you have to write for 3 marks. Okay, so you can easily plan your answer the way I'm doing here, that you know that you have to write for 3 marks here, and that makes your life easy. You know that, okay, now normally it's normally in examination it's 1 mark for 1 valid point. Okay, 1 mark for 1 valid point. Okay, it do I would say It's not a compulsory thing. It may vary, okay, but it's 1 to 2 mark normally. But normally, if you see at this F5 level, so it's 1 mark. So I would say at least 3 valid points will work very well for you. At least 3 valid points will work very well for you. And here I don't mean to say valid points as bullets. Okay, we never say valid points as bullets. We never mean to say points as bullets. Okay, it's point means the logical points I'm talking about. Okay, and maybe explaining one logical point may comprises of 2 lines, maybe comprising of 3 lines or 4 lines. It depends. So I'm talking about the valid, logical, conceptual point, not that bullet point. Okay. So 3 marks, 3 marks, and 3 marks. That is the breakup of this. So done with this one as well. Explain difficulties in assessing performance of schools due to what? Qualitative nature of the objectives. Okay, 4 marks. Done. So I'm done with the requirements. Now I will read the scenario and let's highlight important things. So be with me. I'll actually teach you how to use this to your own advantage. All schools in the country of Duckland are funded by the state. Okay. So these are state-run schools accountable to the Department of Education. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Which oversees educational standards and monitors performance of the school. That's fine. So it's a government controlled school. Yeah, state is funding them. Simply, it's a not-for-profit organization. You want me to zoom this? Okay, let me do it. Not much I can do, but I'll try to make it this. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, right? It's okay now. Is it okay, everybody? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, now the DOE. Now these are the objectives that were mentioned here. Here are the objectives, which are also the objectives of all the schools in the clan. Are to read these objectives very well. You know why? Because your requirement number 2, which was of 12 marks, is heavily dependent upon these objectives. Okay, so read the requirement objectives very well. Strive, just be calm. If you are not very good in picking the English words, okay, now this is a possibility. Okay, so nothing to be shy about. You are in front of a doctor, so when you go to doctor, you never shy to tell your problems, right? So I'm the PM doctor for you people. Now it says strive for continuous improvement in performance standard. Now continuous improvement, which means that on a regular basis you have to strive to improve yourself in the performance standards, right? Provide a supportive learning environment which encourages high standard of students' achievement. Okay. Ensure students are prepared for adult life and have skills and character necessary to contribute to society and economy. Provide all children with access to high quality education. All, it's important, right? All children, regardless of their location or background. So no, what you call, what we say, discrimination. Yeah, no discrimination. Okay. Summary performance data for each school is accessible via the summary performance data for each school is accessible via the website. Parents in Duckland have the right to choose which school their child should attend. So yeah, it's good. Based on the performance data, many parents use this performance data for their selection. So they have their own right. And that's fair enough. Inspectors from the DOE visit each school in Duckland at the end of every 5 years. The DO believes that to gain a better insight into quality of teaching and learning environment, inspectors should attend selection of lessons, and do speak to the students as well. Okay, that's an inspection done every 5 years. Uh, Tonford School has recently had its inspection visit. The school data entry on DO's website has been updated. The revised entry is shown below. So there, now this is basically what? This is basically some kind of a data, summary performance data, using which you can actually judge the performance. So it includes exam results, students' progress, inspection grades, student numbers, number of teaching staff. And to be honest, the entire data that you have here, and I'm asking you people about this, entire data that you have here is financial or it's non-financial? A quick idea, please, anyone? Is it financial or non-financial? Yeah, it's very heavily equipped with non-financial, and yeah, it's all non-financial. Yeah, right? Okay. The exam results indicator show what? It's important to understand the meaning of this. Percentage of students leaving school with at least 5 final exams, including compulsory subjects of mathematics, science, languages at grade A and C, the top 3 grades. Okay. Students' progress is an indicator of how students have performed in compulsory subjects in their final exams at the age of 16. Okay. Compared to their performance when they were in the intermediate exams at the age of 11. Now, this is an interesting indicator. These are all indicators, okay? These are all indicators. Academic grades are given numerical values, and the pupil progress score is the movement in the average of pupil grades. Score typically range from 0.5 to negative 0.5 to plus 0.5. There are 6 inspection grades done by the inspector: excellent, very good, good, average, poor, and very poor. Number 4, the inspector's summary report for Tonford School concluded that there is a very high, very strong sense of community values and citizenship. So it's good. Students appear to have a genuine respect for their teachers, unfortunately, which is not these days, and for one another despite their diverse backgrounds. So yeah, that's good. The DOE recommends that the student teacher ratio should be less than 22 students per teacher. 22 students per teacher. Okay, perfect. So this is the scenario what I have in front of me, and now let's see what exactly do we need to write here for 4 marks, starting from 4 marks, and I'll tell you the planning of the answer. That's very important. Now make sure verb and object is very clear in your mind. Okay, so the verb is explain, and I did mention earlier when we were at the first day, to explain means you have to go one step ahead, and you have to tell why this is a problem. Okay, why it's not problems. Okay, there is a problem. Okay, that's fine. Why this is a problem? This is what you have to emphasize here. So why this is a problem? That is what you have to focus. And the object is problems. And problems basically focusing on problems because of multiple objectives. Okay. Now, there's no need to write this verb and object. This is just for your clarity. I'm writing here. Now, obviously, the answer will be in paragraph. It could be one, not one, in fact, 2 to 3 paragraphs. Short paragraphs explaining one important concept is good. short paragraph explaining one important logic or concept is good. You can use different paragraphs, but not bullets, no numbering to be done. That is important. Okay. So right now, I cannot draft the entire paragraph in front of you. So to explain you here, I'm just telling you certain small points. But when you will write, you will not write in this way. Rather, you will just draft this in form of a paragraph. Okay. So the points that should come in our mind in order to capture these 4 marks. Now, let me ask you people first. Any quick thoughts? Let's make this a bit more interactive. What problems do NFPIs face because of multiple objectives? Okay, we have prioritization is a very good point. Multiple stakeholder, dysfunctional behavior. Okay, just make sure the problem should focus on multiple objectives only, not the other problems that you just state here. Okay. Now let's plan the answer. Obviously, you can start your answer by just mentioning that a profit based organization has only one single objective. Okay. Because the priority is given to one stakeholder, and that is shareholder, right? So in that case, they are very much clear. It's the shareholder. You know that we have to give priority to shareholder. That's it. So nothing different about it, right? That's perfect. Now, not for profit organization is a one where problem will arise. Why? Because it's mentioning here because of multiple objectives. Okay, multiple objectives. That's clear. Multiple objectives. Uh, this multiple objective results in what? It's just one. It's just one point I mentioned here. Okay, nothing matters because I'm just telling you the problem is of multiple objectives. This is what my point is. Okay, so multiple objectives. Why? Due to multiple stakeholders like government. Okay, like this is a school, right? So students, right? Employees. Okay, society expecting to provide better individuals. Okay, so multiple objectives are because there are multiple stakeholders. Multiple objectives are there because there are multiple stakeholders, right? So now, because of multiple stakeholder, what happens? So I can write here multiple stakeholders results in what? Multiple stakeholders results in problems. Now, this is important. Problems, the word problems. I always tell everybody, whenever you're drafting a theoretical answer, you try to use your object, the word of that object again and again in your answer, because this will ensure that you are not going out of track. This is a $1,000,000 technique. Whatever your object is, the word object, problems, you use that word more often in your answer, because this will give you yourself the assurity that, yeah, I'm writing according to what object is there, and it will ensure that you don't go out of track. Are you getting my point? So multiple stakeholder results in problems like what problems? Prioritization. Okay, prioritization of objectives. Obviously, some employee will say the focus should be on me. Society will say produce better individuals. Uh, Government will say spend wisely. Students will want good quality education. So prioritization of objective is important. Second problem, obviously this will result in conflict between objectives. Okay. For example, at one end, for example, I'm saying at one end, government, because the funding is coming from government, right? So government will say, okay, spend less, okay, but this will impact quality. Are you getting my point? This will impact the quality. So conflicts will be there. Conflicts will be there. And this conflict will create problems in the selection of resources. So you'll not be able to select the resources, which resources, how to use the resources. That will be a problem. Okay. furthermore, furthermore, it's important to keep in your mind that this is clear. Multiple objectives due to multiple stakeholders, which means the problem will be of prioritization of objectives, problem will be of conflicting objectives, and this can create a mess for the organization. They will not know what to focus on. Secondly, one important factor is funding coming from government. So now this is very much clear that if funding is coming from government, government will try to influence their own decisions, right? We have seen this culture in our country as well, where lots of influence comes from the government. They try to dictate the organizations, right? So as funding is coming from the government, you can expect dictation coming from the government. Okay, influence will be of government, right? So maybe government influence will be there. Okay, and this can obviously be bad, and this can further aggregate the problems for this not-for-profit organization, because government is in a superior position just because of giving funds and all, right? So this is how the answer should have been structured for 4 marks. Now, these are the basic pointers that you have to convert into a paragraph. And I'm saying you can use 2 paragraphs. And what my point is that you can change paragraph for every new logic, for every new concept that you are giving to the examiner. For every new point, I would say, the valid point, I'm saying, because normally when I say point, so people think that one-liner point. No, that's wrong. Valid point, which means valid logic. So you can use different paragraphs for different valid logics, right? And this is how you have to present your answer. I'm sure this is very, very much clear to all of you the way I've done this. Okay, clear? Uh, are you understanding? I'm actually using the platform just to show you, just to remove your fear of typing. Okay, so is the session up till now going good? What's your feedback, guys? Happy? Okay, thank you very much. But now it's time for a break. So let's take a break. It's 9:35. So we'll resume the class around 9:40. Enjoy the break. Okay, welcome back. So, everybody, are you with me? Say yes. Okay. Now, so done with this first part. I just want to take one or two questions. Okay. Someone asked me explain this first point. So it's a very simple point that a profit organization has one objective of profit maximization due to one important stakeholder, that is shareholder. That's it. Okay. But when it comes to not for profit, obviously the stakeholders are multiple and that creates a problem. Okay. Now, done with this part. Now let's move on towards the next one. And this is more interesting here. And let's see how to handle this very important part. So be with me, everybody. Use the four objectives in the template provided to structure your answer. And this is for 12 marks. So how to do this exactly? How we gonna do this? Okay, so that's very important. Now, see how I'll try to make this more easier for you people so that you can easily handle this important situation. And let me do some very important thing for you people. You can see these four objectives here, right? Okay, now see, this is the this is basically the performance data that you have to use, and based on this you have to assess these four objectives. Now this is very important that you have to assess the performance objective here. So that's the most important thing, right? So now strive for continuous improvement in performance standards. Continuous improvement in performance standards, strive for it. Now, for objective one, what exactly I'm going to use here? Please be with me. What exactly I'm going to use here for objective one? That's the most important thing to understand. So, exam results, okay? I'll talk about exam results because exam results are important to see whether there is continuous improvement or not, and the students progress. I'll just copy, and what I'm doing is copy paste. Okay, this is the benefit I have on word processing sheets. So I know these are the two very important things that I have to keep in my mind when I have to assess the continuous improvement of this, what you say, the not-for-profit organization, right? Okay, now as for workings, it's not very much important because the data is actually given to you and things are already given in terms of working. So you can just use the numbers, and you can just basically based on the numbers, you can you can actually assess the performance, right? So exam results. Now, what I think I have been given with this percentages here, right? And one is 2017 actual. National is basically the industry average that I have. Okay. And also, I have been given the actual of Stanford School for 2012, just to look at the trend. 2012 and 2017, just to look at the trend. Okay. So exam results, if I start first with exam results, and you know the technique normally that we follow is CCD, calculate, comment and discuss. Calculate, comment and discuss. But here it's a different scenario. Very small data is given to you. Things are given to you that you just if you want, you can you may calculate certain things if you want to. That I'll do the calculation later on. I think I need to perform few things here, but let's now be very much specific because objectives are given to me, and objective by objective I'll be assessing the performance. Okay, so exam results. Now what do you think in terms of exam results? Again, my answer will be in form of a paragraph, but right now I'm writing in bullets. So exam result, if I see in case of Tonford actual 2017, it's 62%, okay, versus the industry. And in case of industry, In case of industry, it's how much? 65%, right? What do you think? It's good or bad? Quickly, good or bad? I'll come to the next one. Don't worry. I'll come to the next one for inspection grades and all. Okay, good or bad? It's bad. It's simply bad. No issues at all. Second, I will again compare this with our own trend, because the word that is written here is continuous improvement. Continuous means you need to look at your trend as well, that continuously you are improving or not, right? So if I look at the if I compare this 62 with Tonphone's 2012 result, so that says 64%. And considering that, again, the performance is good or bad? It's bad. The performance is bad in terms of this. If I look here, so looking at the exam results, the performance is bad, because uh, this is A to C grade. Okay, so 62% of the students took A to C grade in 2017, compared to the industry where people were graded A till C, and that was 65% in the industry. Okay, and considering your previous year where you were standing at 64, you went down to 62, so that's bad for the organization. That is for sure, for sure. Agreed, everybody? Okay, that's good. So that's clear. Okay, now further what I'll add up here is, yes, to assess a school based on exam results. Now you are the students. Let's have an interaction here. You are getting grades below than C, for example, and our percentage is decreasing. So from school perspective, okay, it's okay to judge that the performance is not good. But is this only dependent on school to bring good results? Come on, let's have an interaction here. Let's make this lively more. So it's just the responsibility of school. It's just the responsibility of Rizwan, Maniya to bring good results. No, it depends on you as well. Yes. So you'll write here, however, student personal skills are important as well in bringing good result. We can't just blame the tuition provider completely that, hello, you are bad, it's because of you. No, you also have to assess your own self as well, right? So yes, that's important. Student personal skills are also important. Student personal skills are very, 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 very much important as well. So make sure that you consider this point as well. Okay. uh, so that is important. And because, and one more thing I need to add here, if we focus too much on exam results, right? If the institution knows, okay, this is the only criteria to judge our performance, this is the only criteria to judge our performance, then in that case institute might start to manipulate the results. Then they just focus on one thing, so that's not appropriate. So I will write here, we cannot only judge performance based on exam results. Okay, we also have to consider other factors as well, not just this. But considering this, there is definitely clarity that there is no good continuous improvement. You have to write these things in paragraph. Agreed, everybody? Okay, now, and no need to write this subheading as well. This is not required to write this exam result subheading. Okay, that's fine. Just write in a paragraph. Now, students progress. Okay, for students progress, uh yeah, what do you think? Student progress for Tonford, come on please. By the time I write, I want your answers in front of me on screens. 2017 0.4 versus the industry 2017. Yes, guys, it's 0.25 versus 2012, our own, and that's zero point 0.3. So what do you think? Are we good or bad? Come on, be with me, everybody. Come on. Good or bad? Good performance. Good performance. It's so easy, my friends. You know, people were so afraid of this question after the exam. They were like, oh, very difficult question on not for profit came and we're not sure what to do. It's so simple. Okay. So the performance seems to be a good one. And see, it's why it's simple, because the objectives are given. You have the direction that in this direction you have to write. Okay. Okay. So the performance of the organization seems to be good here. And you can see here good performance of the organization. So that's a good thing. Now you can further emphasize on this as well, that looking at the number of students. Okay. Now what do you think? Number of students increased or not? Yeah. From 627 went to 662. Another sign that performance improved. Are you clear about this, everybody? And yes, you know the fact, it's written here that parents have that liberty to decide on their own whether to go for the admission of their kids or not. And it's written here. I did highlight that somewhere. Yeah, you can see here. So this is clearly showing the confidence of the parents as well. Of parents in school is clear because of the admissions. Students have increased. Are you getting my point, everybody? That's fine. See, so the confidence of the parents is clear, the performance is good. And as for this first objective, I would say exam results not good, but the student progress is good. And let me tell you one thing, the student progress seems to be much important than the final result, because student progress basically is focusing on what? Have you realized that? It's focusing on what? Do you know? It's focusing on your result at the age of 16 versus result at the age of 11. Now listen, this is very important. Age of 11 intermediate result and result at the age of 16. So it is showing you that in long run your performance, the student performance has improved. And it's totally, if the students performance has improved compared to their intermediate result, if your performance has improved compared to your intermediate result, this means school played a major role in that. Because if at the level of intermediate you were scoring 60% of the marks, and now at this age of 16 you have scored 80% of the marks, so at intermediate level you were at 60 and now you are at 80, so one can easily say it's because of the school, the institution, that help you to raise your level, that help you to raise your result. Are you getting my point? It's not a general stuff here. Progress is giving you the message that compared to your intermediate result, yes, it's getting better and better and better. Are you getting my point, everybody? Say yes or no. Okay. So I hope this is clear to all of you. as well, right? Now, so it's clear that school contribution towards student is there. School, that's really important. Uh, Nalina Kumari, I am not getting your comment here. Why you are shocked to see this? Maybe because it was so easy. That's why what your point is, and you could not do in the paper. Please just clarify. Are you getting my point? So easy, so easy, and people were crying in the exam. To be honest, when they came out, I had an interaction with so many. They were saying, "Oh, what a question came in the paper, and we could not handle it." It was nothing. It was nothing. You had the data. You just had to assess the performance. Okay, thank you. Are you getting the point? Yes, to try to understand this is very important, my friends, very important. And that's it, done. Done. Now, coming to the objective number 2. Okay, provide a supportive learning environment which encourages high standards, okay, high standards of pupil achievement. Now, just focus on two terms. Listen, just focus on two terms. One, focus on this supportive learning environment. This is a key term, because if you want to write about this, you need to figure out that this is the key term to focus on. So this is the key term. Okay. And second is high standards of achievement. I made this italic here just to give you the idea, so that these are the things to focus on. Now, see, supportive learning environment that helps to achieve high standard. Come on, come on, come on, come on, be with me. Tell me which two indicators you think are related to this one. Let me repeat it again. I want right answers. Supportive learning environment. How to gauge supporting learning environment? How to gauge supporting learning environment? Come on, tell me, everybody. Supporting learning environment is easy to gauge by looking at the inspection grades. Wow, so simple. You know, inspection grade will tell whether the learning environment was supportive or not, because it was mentioned in the scenario that inspector attend the selection of the lessons, and they do talk to the students as well. And when you talk to the students, you will get to know, hello, is the environment supportive? Student will say yes. This is how you're getting the idea. You are taking feedback from the students, so they will tell you, okay, yeah, I'm really happy with this institution. It's the feedback. So supportive learning environment is something that you can easily figure out by inspection grades. Okay, and high standards of performance achievement, come on, tell me, high standards of performance achievement is something that you can gauge through which indicator? Tell me, which indicator you can gauge? Yes, that's the right answer. Perfect, going perfect, everybody. It's through the pupil's progress. Perfect. That's it. Wow, easy. Okay, now let's start with inspection grade. Listen, when the learning environment is good, the results and the performance will automatically be good. Okay, so inspection grades. Now, what do you think about inspection grade? The criteria should be clear. Let me highlight this for you. Excellent, very good, good, average, poor, and very poor. So for tenfold, current, what you will say, versus previous 2012 and industry. So you'll say the performance is good. Okay, because according to inspector, it's very good. Okay, that's perfect. That's good. You're going good. The reason for including pupils' progress is because it says that we encourage high standards of pupil achievement. Now, achievement of students will be something that you can gauge through their progress, right? How good they've achieved from their intermediate position to their current position. So this is the achievement, right? So that you can gauge through pupils' progress. Okay, done with this one. Second, still room for improvement. Don't be relaxed because there is one more criteria of excellent as well. So still room for improvement because you're still not excellent here. You have a chance of excellent as well. So yes, still room for improvement is there. Agreed? Clear? Still room for improvement because it's not yet excellent for you. Okay, that's fine. Now, which means the learning environment is supportive. The learning, see how I'm breaking things and linking together. Learning environment is supportive. And this is the core skill at an APM student has. Core skill of an APM student. And this is what I was saying, that because I teach good number of APM students, I am very much clear that because these questions are tested here, student needs to develop such kind of skills at F5 level as well. Okay, so that's fine. Still room for improvement. That's excellent. Now the students' progress we have already discussed before. So good environment resulted in good progress. Getting the point, everybody? Clear? Easy. 3 marks. 3 marks. That's it. Okay? And you know, honestly, you will be shocked to hear many left this question in the exam. They didn't attempt the question. They were like, we don't know what to do. Why? Because the question, I would say, the examiner itself gave you the answer that assess the performance against the objectives. What I think, the answer was given in the question that these are the objectives, and when you have the objectives in front of you, that's the most easiest question ever. Okay, that's great. Now move on to the next one. Ensure, now just pick up the key points from here. Ensure pupils are prepared for adult life. And have the skills and character necessary to contribute to the economy and the society. Now, can you tell me which thing you can link here? Come on, I want your input, man. Come on, give me your inputs. What do you think? Inspection, grade, and especially what is important here is the inspector summary report. Yes, inspector summary report. Inspector summary report is important. Okay. Plus, you can easily, through this, you can easily figure out. See, it says strong sense of community values and citizenship. It's clear in the summary report that there is strong sense of community values and relationship. good in terms of this. Good in terms of this. Is it difficult to write? Now, if you don't agree with me, you just go and read the past paper answers. You'll figure out this is what you had to do. Okay, so you are good in terms of this. The summary of the inspector report mentioned that students appear to have a genuine respect for their teachers. Genuine respect for their teachers. See how easy I can just copy paste this stuff. But this is what you don't have to do. Okay, I'm just telling you the key pointers around which your answer should move on, right? Okay, so that's great. Easy. Now, in terms of in terms of their character building, in terms of their character building, whether character building is good or not, character building is good or not, you can definitely use the summary report. Plus, whether they will contribute to the society and economy. See, whether they will contribute to the society and the economy, their student progress will further give you the idea. Student progress will further give you the idea about their contribution. Getting the point? Right? Because if they are getting good in terms of academics, if they are good in terms of, because you know why? Because pupil progress is a much broad, forward looking, I would say much better measure than exam result, because it covers a long span of time. It covers long span of time, right? Pupil progress covers long span of time from their intermediate till their 16th age, right? So it tells you, okay, since in all these 11 or 5 years or so, they have improved themselves as a better human being, as a better person, and that will contribute to the society. Okay, so again, contribution towards the society and the economy will be judged through pupil progress. And that's very much clear that as the progress is good, so better contribution will be made in society and economy. Okay, great, understood. Mikkel, which point you want me to repeat? First point, case the second point. I'm not getting what exactly you're saying. As the pupil progress may have been caused by sense of community values. Okay, what my point is that the focus was not just on character building. The focus was also on uh, developing leaders for the future, developing students who tomorrow when they go into the industry, they add value to the economy, their country. Okay, they add value to the society, right? So academically, if you're good, you will add value to the economy. Character wise, if you're good, you will add value to the society. Are you getting the point? So the point is very much clear that yes, the better you are academic wise, the better you will contribute to the society and the economy as well. Actually, why I'm not using exam result here is, again, I'm telling you, because one result cannot decide your final decision of life, right? One result cannot decide your decision. Are you clear about it? And it's a fact, my friends. Even failures, college dropouts made big organization in the world, right? Microsoft, Apple. Are you getting my point? College dropout, right? We know so many examples. iPhone, Microsoft, right? So these are basically what are contributing towards the society. So yeah, Tesla, definitely. I was just thinking about the name and it was not coming in my mind, right? Tesla. So yeah, better person contributing towards the society. Yeah, one single sheet of paper can't decide your future. So you're getting into this, right? So that's the point I'm making here. And it's good to see your involvement. That's so good as a tutor, it gives me so much idea that how good the session is going. Anyways, coming back to this, clear? Now, provide all children with access to high quality education. All is important for me. You know why? Because it says regardless of their location or background. Now, all is important. From which performance standard you can gauge that, okay, we are providing education to all the people from diverse background. Can you tell me? Yes, please. It's the inspector report. Again, I would say the inspector summary report to check this diversity. Okay, you can easily look at the report, because it says despite their diverse backgrounds. Are you getting my point, everybody? Inspector report will give you clear idea that despite their diverse background, this means you have accommodated lots of all kind of children's. Okay, right? Getting the point? So yes, you have done that. It's good for the business, good for the performance of the organization. Are you getting my point, everybody? Is it okay? Plus, number of students increase is giving me another sign that yes, you never stopped and you went for more students. Getting the point? That's it. Now, access to high quality education. High quality education. How can you check whether they provided high quality education or not? Can you tell me? Anyone? Anyone? How can you relate this again with? Yeah, you can definitely relate this again with I would say, the pupil's progress, because this is one of the common things that is coming again and again and again. Okay, you can even further do one thing, that is, you can work out student to teacher ratio for that. Okay, let's have a quick working. Can anyone help me here? 662 divided by 35. So I think it's around 18 point something, if I'm not wrong, right? Versus 627 divided by 33. And I think the answer of that is 19. 19. And versus, compare this with what the recommendation is given by the state, and that's 22 is to 1. See, now you tell me, they said that it should be less than 22, which means one tutor should handle 22 students. One tutor should handle 22 students. And if you look at the results, so their results are better, that they ensured that 19 students per teacher. And what this means, less students per teacher means what? Better quality education. Okay, better quality education. This means as the students were increasing, they increased their tutors as well. They increased their tutor as well. And one more thing I need to tell you here. Who is funding them? Tell me, who is funding them? It's the government. And government will never allow you to spend uselessly. Government will never allow you to spend unnecessarily. So if you have increased your tutors from 33 to 35, this means government did allow because of good performance. Because of good performance. Come on. Was it difficult? Tell me. Was it difficult? No. And honestly, tell me, if any one of you here can give me a quick feedback, if you were in this examination and you were not able to solve. Anyone of you who remember this question, and what's your feedback that why you could not solve it? If anyone can share, please. It's not about getting ashamed of, okay? So is it better now? Okay. So this is how you had to handle. I'm again and again telling you, make sure that you don't have to write in terms of bullets, okay? These all will be in terms of paragraphs. And this copy paste option is really good for you to plan out the answer. That's the best part about word processing sheets, that you can copy paste the stuff. Okay. So I hope we are done with this question of not-for-profit organization where there were objectives given. Now remember, it's not that you always have to use 3 E's for not-for-profit organization. Okay. When the criteria is given to you, in case of not-for-profit organization, when the data is given to you, okay, you do the way I did here. But sometimes if it's a not-for-profit organization and examiner does mention about 3 E's, like you have to use economy, efficiency, and effectiveness in that case, so then you have to follow that criteria. But because in this question, it was very, very, very clearly mentioned that you have to follow the objectives against the objectives. So it was very simple to check against the objectives. Okay. Hadi Ahmed, I'll share that in the $1 million plan. I did cover that in March 20, I think it was December or March 2020 webinar where I covered that. So you can just look at that, and I'm sure after that you won't have any issues, right? So I hope this is clear to all of my friends here. The way I handle this question of not-for-profit organization, and this is done, dusted, no issues. What's your feedback? Happy, everybody? Yes, please. Great. Now, let's move on towards the very important area, transfer pricing. Okay, transfer pricing. Come on, let's quickly recap and then jump towards the question. Transfer pricing is what? It represents revenue per unit for the supplying division, okay? And it represents cost per unit for the receiving division, right? Okay, there are certain types of transfer pricings. Uh, the best theoretical rule is general rule. So what's that? Marginal cost plus opportunity cost. Okay? Marginal cost plus opportunity cost. It's known as general rule. In theory, this acts as the best rule. In theory, this acts as the best rule. Okay? And let me tell you when you have to use this rule. So remember, when the question states about maximization of group profits, when the question states about maximization of groups profits, you will use general rule because this results in maximization of group profits. Okay, getting the point? Okay, now listen, I'll stop here and I'll move towards very important area, so make sure you all stay connected with me. Okay, and that is the $1 million points. Now listen, as I want to move towards the question very early here, the first thing that I want you people to keep in your mind so that I can make things really simple for you is always read the question, identify this. What is this? The current policy. Identify the current policy. It's given in the question most of the times, and if you don't consider it, if you ignore the current policy, then you will be in a very bad position. Okay, so do consider current policy. Okay, and if given, if given the proposed policy, but it is important to figure out the current policy in any case. You all know the basics of transfer pricing, that transfer price is basically a selling price for the seller and its cost for the buyer. Agreed? Okay. Now, here I'll stop for a minute or so and we'll jump towards the past paper question to see how exactly I need to handle this examination in the paper, especially on the spreadsheet. So, the question that I'm selecting, maybe it's a section C question, again, 36 minutes question, understand the requirements, calculative question, carefully structured and clearly set out calculations. Okay, now listen, maybe I would say that you might have done this question before, but again, my point is that you have to focus on what the technique I'm telling you. So listen, today my technique is important, not the question solving. Okay, you might have gone through this question. It's a bath company question, but the reason for selecting this question today is to give you the idea about the technique, okay? So please don't leave the session and look at my technique, especially when I come to the second part. So let's begin. Bath company is a company specializing in the manufacture and sales of bath. Okay, great. Each bath consists of main unit, plus a set of bath fittings. The company is split into two divisions, A and B. It's very important whenever you read the question in the examination, you try to figure out the seller division and the buyer division. Okay. Division A manufactures the bath and B manufactures sets of bath fittings. Currently, all of the division A sales are made externally. Division B, however, sells division A as well as to external customers. Okay, and both are profit centers. Now, can you tell me very quickly, very quickly, that which division you think is a selling division and which you think is a buying division? Come on, I need your feedbacks. Come on. You'll learn a lot new techniques today. Be honest, be with me. Okay. So it says very simple thing, and that is that the seller division is division B and buyer is division A. Agreed? Great. That's awesome. Now, division A. Currently selling price of each bath is 450. Cost per bath. Fittings that A buys from B at 75, which you can see is part of the cost of the buyer, and this 75 is the selling price of the seller. Getting the point? So you can see the similar numbers here, right? Okay. Other materials from external suppliers, 200, labor costs 45, fixed overheads, production capacity, annual market demand. Okay, great. Next, cost per set of fittings, materials 5, labor cost 15. Now this is interesting. The external selling price is 80. So as I mentioned, that B is basically the seller, as B sells in external market as well as internal market. When it sells in external market, it charges 80. This is external selling price. And this is the transfer price which it charges from the internal division. Annual fixed overheads are given to you. Maximum annual demand, maximum external demand 180, internal demand 80,000. Okay, that's all fine. Now, if I ask you a quick question here, because this is what I believe is part of your observation, or this should be part of your observation. By reading this entire stuff, I need answer of two things. Tell me. Internal transfers. Can you tell me how many units they are transferring internally? Number one. Second, tell me the transfer price of that. Come on. Can you tell me the internal transfers? Great. Great. So as it's obvious, so let's read here. The transfer price charged by B to A was negotiated some years ago between previous divisional managers who now have been replaced. Now, $1,000,000 point, as you saw here, was identify current policy. So see the current policy. Let's look at the current policy. Head office only allows division A to purchase its fitting from B. This is making very clear what their current policy is. So their current policy is that A must buy from B. A must buy from B. This is their current policy. Agreed? A must buy from B. Getting the point, every one of you? Okay. If A must buy from B, then What is the quantity? Now you can tell me. Because A requires 80,000, so this means A will buy 80,000 because it's important that internal demand should be fulfilled first. And what is the price at which transfer is made is 75. Okay. Now let me tell you very interesting thing. Be with me. My $1,000,000 point two is all about two things. And I'm telling you a very secret thing. Listen, everybody, if you've done this before, even there are certain my students here, they also have to listen the new technique. You know, in transfer price, the biggest issue is what? You pick up any question on transfer price. What is the biggest issue that you have to find out is about two things. About two things. Can you figure out that? Two things. Number one, units to transfer. Okay. Second, at what price? What transfer price? Mark my words. Nobody will tell you this. Every question of transfer price is around these two things. Either both will come or only one thing will be tested. How many units? And yeah, that should be the best one. How many best optimum units to transfer and at what price? This is the biggest issue of transfer pricing, and every question is around these two things. You just check it by yourself. 5 times this has been tested. Let me tell you the name as well. Bath Company, Mop Company, Rotac Company, Portable Garage Company, okay, Hammer Company, and I cannot recall Man Company. All the questions I've mentioned all names of all the questions. I'm teaching this paper since 14 years. It's not a very small time span. This is the key thing. So right now, as per the current policy, they have mentioned these two things. And if you have these two things, there is no issue at all. Okay. I'll not further read ahead and will jump towards the requirement. It says under current transfer pricing system, current this one, prepare a profit statement showing the profit for each of the divisions and for Bath Company as a whole. Listen what I'm doing. Listen what I'm doing. Your sales and cost figures should be split into external sales and interdivisional sales where appropriate. And this was tested in 2011. Okay, that's great. That's great, Rizwan, Maniya. So it's not the end. In 2018. Okay, what happened? 2018, what happened? Question came, Portable Garage Company. You will be shocked. And this is, mark my words, what I'm saying here. Two things are important, the quantity and the transfer price. See, just read the requirement under current transfer pricing system. Who says questions will not repeat? I'll show you the repetition. Under current transfer pricing system, prepare a profit statement showing the profit for each of the divisions and the group. Your sales and cost figures should split into external sales and interdivisional sales where appropriate, 9 marks. See, this was for 6 marks in 2011. Okay. And in 2018, 9 marks came for the same part. And both the questions asked about current policy. This is the experience, okay? Getting the point? Great. Fine. Understood? Interesting? Okay. So, with such an interesting thing, it's time for the break as well. It's 10:37. We'll see you 10:42. Okay. Now that's okay. So I've mentioned this. Portable garage asked about the same thing, whereas bath company also asked about the same thing. And I'll show you the similarities here. Just wait on. Just wait with me. I'll cover two questions in one arrow. Through one arrow, I'll cover two questions. Okay. So let's see. That's okay. Done. Now, even if I solve this one or I solve that one, that doesn't matter. It's the same thing, right? So let's now move towards part A. And let's go to bath company. Okay, so I'll be solving this on, again, the spreadsheet. And let's select one spreadsheet from here. In fact, this doesn't relate to that question, but doesn't matter. Just ignore these workings and yeah, just remove everything. Great. Now, just forget about the initial requirement here. I'll just use this spreadsheet. So part A, bath company. As per the requirement, current policy is very much clear. So I need to work out the profit figures for division A and division B. So it's better that you first start with seller always. Okay, so seller is division B. Okay, so I need to start with the revenue, and it's first the external revenue. Right? Internal revenue. Okay. So seller, what seller does is seller current policy I mentioned is selling 80,000 internally at 75, right? So that's the transfer price. 80,000, sorry, I just wrote in the wrong box. Yeah. 80,000 at the rate 75. Okay. And how many it is selling internally? Can you give me a quick answer on this as well, everybody? It's 180, the maximum demand, right? And total capacity is of 200,000. So how many is selling externally? So 200,000 minus 80,000, right? So that's 120,000 selling externally. 200,000 minus 80,000 internal. So 120,000. Okay. Into 80. Great. Done. Total revenue. Let's add these two together. Sum coming towards cost. So let's have a look. We have the cost of material, labor, 5 and 15. Okay. Any internal cost purchases? No. Any external purchase you have? No. Okay. Material, yes. Labor, yes. Fixed cost, yes. Okay. So make sure you write this in negative. Material cost is how much? It's 5 and 15. Okay. 5 into how many units should I multiply this with? 200,000 units, right? Because 80 internal and 120 external, right? For labor, negative sign, 15 into 200,000. Just learn the technique that I'll give you today. Fine. I'll tell you why. Umair, I'll tell you. Fixed cost 4.4 million. Okay, 4.4 million. Profit slash loss. Okay. So anything else? Nothing, I think. That's okay. Let's apply the sum formula. And here I have the answer. Now I'm making this a bit faster purposefully just because I want to tell you certain important techniques here. Okay. Okay. That's it, guys. Everybody clear? Have any questions? Say yes or no. Okay. Now, second, buyer. Division A. External sales. Yes. 80,000 at the rate 450, right? At the rate 450. Okay. What, Hussein, about fixed cost? I've already charged fixed cost here. Okay. Any internal sales? No, nothing. Let's apply the sum formula. Right? Now, internal purchase. What do you think? Does A purchases internally? Yes. All 80,000 units. And that's transfer price, right? That's transfer price. Agreed? Make sure this is in negative. Minus internals. 6 million. Right? No purchase is made externally by the buyer because all the units buyer is buying internally. Agreed? So this external purchase right now is of no use. But you might be asking, why did I write this here? You'll get the answer soon. Okay. The material cost, 200, labor 45. Okay. Negative 200 into 80,000. Negative 45 into 80,000. Agreed? Any issues, anyone? Clear? Now, what about fixed cost? Negative 7440,000. That's the fixed cost. And I think it's all set to work out the profit. Guys, are you all with me? Say yes or no. I hope I'm not fast here. Is it okay? Is the speed okay? Okay. Now I'm just making sure that okay. Okay. So is it clear? The calculations? Anything else you need to discuss, ask in terms of calculations? Okay, let me just repeat this again. No issues. Let me just repeat this again. 120. Can you just please write down your questions here so that I can quickly answer? Okay. It's clear. Let me repeat this overall very quickly. Now, you know the current policy. Are we clear about the current policy, everybody? Yes or no? Are we clear about the current policy? Yeah. 80,000 at the rate 75. That's okay. Now, based on this, I did my calculations for seller first. The total capacity of the seller was 200,000. So out of this 200,000, 80,000 seller was selling internally and 120,000 seller will sell externally. That's fine. Okay. So based on that, I did my workings. 120,000 into 80 for external sales, 80,000 into 75 for internal sales. That's fine. Total revenue. Okay. The material cost of the seller division. So that was 5 and 15 for labor. So simple. So simply what I did, total units are 200,000, right? So 5 multiplied by 200,000 for material cost, 15 multiplied by 200,000 for labor cost. Is it fine? Okay, great. Now for fixed cost. It's given very simple here. Here is the fixed cost. So simply take the fixed cost here. That's it. And here is the answer, profit and loss. Okay, done. Now coming towards the buyer. Buyer details are given to me here. 80,000 units into 450. Okay, so this is what I did here, right? Now, what is the concept of transfer price? The revenue of the seller is the cost of the buyer. So let me just highlight this as well. Okay, it's the same thing. So you have to write in negative terms. Obviously, this will be negative for sure, right? Material cost, simple, 245 labor cost, right? So what I'll do here is 200 into 80,000 for material, 45 into 80,000 for labor. Clear? No issues. And fixed cost was given to me. So this is the fixed cost and this is the profit. Now, are we clear about this, everybody? Say yes or no, then I'll move ahead. Got it? Okay, that's good. That's now more positive answer. Now, individual divisions done. It's time for group now. So for group, what is important? Remember, business that two divisions are doing with each other. I repeat, business that two divisions are doing with each other is basically for group, not a business. You know the concept of interdivisional will be cancelled out at the group level? Yes or no? You know that? Interdivisional sales will be cancelled out at the group level? Yes? So at group level, internal business will be cancelled out. Fine? Great. So let's not take those intra-group figures and let's take the rest all. So be with me. See the formula is equals to sum. This plus this. Perfect. Should I take the internal sales? No. Leave it. Okay, that's fine. Then what is the total revenue? Apply the sum formula. Agreed? Fine. I'm asking again and again, okay? Now, should I take this internal purchase of the buyer? No. Both that I've highlighted will be cancelled out. Nothing. Nothing for this one. Okay. Now, should I take the material cost and labor cost and overheads for both? Say yes or no. Yes, I should. Because that's not interdivisional business. Okay. That's not interdivisional, right? So I'll take this. We'll apply the sum formula again. This. We'll apply the sum formula again. This. Okay? True? Clear? Right. Done? Now the profit is equals to, here is the profit. Are you getting my point, everybody? Is this all nice and clear to all of you? Please, I need your quick responses. Is this nice and clear to all of you? Okay? Satisfied? Right? Okay. No questions? Happy? So that I should move ahead because this is a key topic. I want to make this your strength, not a weakness. Okay? Happy, right? Everybody? Is the speed okay now? Great. Now, having said that, what's next? What's next is here. Head office is now considering, look at this word, changing the transfer pricing policy, okay, to ensure maximization of company's profit. Now, the word that I did mention is maximization profits. Is maximization of profits without demotivating the managers. Division A will be given autonomy to buy from external suppliers and Division B to supply external customers in priority to supplying Division A. Be with me. Now the policy is changing and this is what I mentioned in my $1 million as proposed policy. Okay. So what's the proposed policy? So the proposed policy is that now they need to maximize group profits. Okay. And now they don't have that restriction, no restriction to do trading with each other. Okay. That's great. Now listen. I just missed out certain lines that I need to read now. And here I am. Here. See, although new manager of Division A believes that he could obtain the fittings of the same quality and appearance for 65 if he was given the autonomy to purchase from outside company. Okay. Division B makes no cost savings from supplying internally to A rather than selling externally. Now, are you getting the point here? The point that I'm making here is, if the power is given to the buyer, so the buyer is ready to buy from external person at 65. Now, what is the current transfer price? So the current transfer price is 75. And look at the buyer, how rude he is getting here. He's saying, I can buy for 65. Okay, great. Now, once you look at this, you don't know now what is the final answer. You don't know, right? But the only thing you know here is maximization of company's profit. And when that is the case, listen, when that is the case, where there is maximization of company's profit and you don't know what to do and how to achieve, this means you need to work out that transfer price which is best and the units that are best to transfer. Now the policy has changed. And if policy has changed, I'm asking you, do you know what is the best transfer price now and how many units should they transfer? First, tell me this. By reading the question, did something give you the idea that how many units now should be transferred and at what price? Come on, say yes or no. Come on, please. You know that. You know. Wow. You don't know. You don't know yet. Let's assume that you haven't solved this before. You don't know. So how to find out now? You don't know. Now what is the best policy as to the units and the price? You don't know that. Right? You don't know. Now what to do? See, people have started giving their own suggestions. I'm telling you the way out. Please listen to me. Now what you do? When you don't know, you have a hint of group profit maximization, right? So I'm telling you a situation and just follow this situation. Once you are here in this case, I'm telling you a situation that you have to follow. Okay? And this will help you to find out this. Now, what's that? Whenever you see group profits are to be maximized, you first consider the seller's perspective. Okay? What? Seller's perspective. First, consider seller's perspective. And for seller, remember, you need to find out minimum transfer price. What? Minimum transfer price. Be with me. Group profits have to be maximized. That's fine. How? Now you will do this. How many should be the units of transfer? What should be the transfer price? That you don't know. So first consider seller's perspective. Then consider buyer's perspective. Okay? And for buyer, you need to figure out maximum transfer price. Listen what I'm saying here. I'll make it very simple. And then from group's perspective, find out the range. Now, let me repeat it again. Listen. The question says group profits are to be maximized. Fine. Now it's allowed that you can buy from outside. Fine. So what is required by the examiner? The examiner is asking you, now tell me that how many units should I transfer internally and what should be the price, and you have to ensure group profits are maximized. Okay, is the situation clear? Okay, so what will you do? You will consider seller's perspective here first. Okay, then you will consider buyer's perspective and then the group perspective, right? In doing so, for seller's perspective, you will follow general rule. Okay, what you will follow, guys? Tell me. General rule. Okay, so what's the general rule? Uh, where is general rule? Yeah, it's marginal cost plus opportunity cost, right? Great. General rule, marginal cost plus opportunity cost. It's by default. You have to think whenever you are finding the minimum transfer price, you follow this rule. I'm telling you, you follow this rule. Okay? And from this perspective, you have to figure out the transfer price. Okay? Clear? Any problem? No problem, right? Perfect. No issues. Great. Now, in applying general rule, what you have to look? What you have to look here? Listen to me. I'm telling you certain rules to follow. Look, is there any spare capacity? Spare capacity, first of all, and no spare capacity. Okay. If there is any spare capacity, look at that. And if there is no spare capacity, do look at that as well. What is spare? Extra units. Okay, spare capacity. And if there is no spare capacity, so I'll tell you what to do then. Right? I'm telling you certain rules to remember that will make your life easier. Okay? That's fine. Now, if there is spare capacity, remember, if there is spare capacity, remember, minimum transfer price will be what? Marginal cost. Minimum transfer price will be what? Marginal cost. Okay? Agreed? If there is no spare capacity, no spare capacity, okay? So the minimum transfer price will be what? Will be what? It's the external selling price less internal savings. Just note it down, please. I'll just prove this very quickly now. I'll need to explain the concept to you people, okay? External selling price less internal saving. And I'll explain you very quickly now. Listen, I'm making rules for you people, okay? That you can learn. That you can learn. But just to give you the background behind the rule, I'll explain what the basis is. Getting the point? Just to explain you background behind the rule, I'll explain the concept. But if you don't remember the concept, that's fine. At least remember the rule. Agreed? Agreed, guys? Okay. So, now, let me tell you the concept behind the rule. So, try to figure out very, very clearly. The rule is clear. That is, if there is spare capacity, the minimum for the seller will be marginal cost. And if there is no spare capacity, the minimum for the seller will be external selling price less internal savings. Okay? Should I give you the proof of that now? First say yes or no. Yes, that's good. So listen. Let's consider this later. Okay, let's not consider this right now. Let's use this space to explain you the concept behind this. Listen, please. Rules are clear, but giving you the concept behind that. Seller. Look at the seller's total demand. Sorry, total capacity. Come on, can you help me out, please? The seller's total capacity is how much? It's 200,000. Okay, right? Great. It's 200,000. Understand the concept behind this rule. Seller external demand is how much? External demand is how much? 180,000. You can't lose concentration here, okay? 180,000. Right. Okay. Now, how much spare does the seller has? Come on, come on. I need answers on the screen, okay? 20,000. I'm justifying you the rule that I've made for you people. And later you can remember the rule and do the questions like this. To be honest, be with me. It'll make it really simple. Okay, that's great. Done and dusted. Now, how much is the internal demand? That's the question, right? How much is the internal demand? The internal demand is for 80,000 units, right? Yeah, 80,000. 80. Okay? Okay. So internal demand is 80,000. Okay. So how will you fulfill this internal demand? Come on, if I ask you, how will you fulfill this internal demand? Tell me. Come on, tell me. First, you will use spare capacity. Oh, you're not getting the point. See, I'll tell you the basis I've made the rule. First, you'll use spare capacity of 20,000 units. Yes? Yeah. And what about the remaining 60? What about the remaining 60? Tell me, guys. Okay. The remaining 60, you will shift from external market. Is that so? Yes, you will shift from external market. Shift from external market. Okay? Getting the point? Now, see, 20,000 units, 20,000 units are of spare, right? So, for these 20,000 units, the rule of spare capacity applies. Okay? The rule of spare capacity applies. For 60,000 units, which are not spare, actually you are shifting that from outside. You are foregoing your external market, right? So you are shifting that from outside. So for those 60,000 units, these are those where there is no spare capacity. For 20,000 units, there is a spare capacity. Okay. For 20,000 units, there is no spare capacity. Agreed? That's the rule. Okay. Now let's use general rule to set out the prices, and forever this will be your rule. Okay. For 60,000, you are shifting from external market. Okay. How much is your marginal cost? The marginal cost is, okay, how much is the marginal cost? It's 20. 5 plus 15, 20. Are you all with me? 20. Okay. 20. plus. Is there any opportunity that you're missing? Relevant costing. Any opportunity that you're missing? Yes. What? You are missing the opportunity of selling this externally. Guys, be with me. I might take 15 minutes more today, but I'll make this rock solid for you if you trust me and you're with me. Okay? So, are you losing any opportunity? Yes, you are. What? You can sell this in the external market at an external selling price of 80. Oh, where is 80? Here it is. Yeah, 80. Okay. If you deduct the cost of 20, so you are earning a contribution per unit of 60. Okay. You are earning a contribution per unit of 60. By not selling this externally, you are losing this contribution. This is a loss that you are doing. And general rule says that the loss that you do by not selling externally, you should charge that loss to the internal division as an opportunity cost. That's fine. This means the transfer price for these 80,000 units will be 80. 80. Interesting. Interesting. Say yes or no. 80. So what is my rule saying? My rule is saying that if there is no spare capacity, the transfer price is what? External selling price. See, I proved it. Now next time you don't have to check. You can quickly jump on the conclusion. What? 80 per unit will only be for 60,000? Oh man, this is per unit. Okay? Are you getting my point? So is the rule justified here? Yes. 80 less any internal savings. In this case, there is no internal saving right now. Internal saving is no, in this case, we can even check here. See, it says no cost savings. Had it been there any cost savings, we would have deducted from this figure. So my rule is justified. Yeah, it's Priyanka, right? Okay, done? Done for now? Now, for units that are spare ones, so the transfer price will be what? 20 marginal cost plus no opportunity. No opportunity. So the minimum will be how much? 20. And I said we need to find out minimum. I proved here that this is how it should be in almost every scenario where you have to find out minimum transfer price from seller perspective that you do. This is the best way to do it. Minimum is very simple. Would you want to sell these 20,000 spare less than 20, Rukaiya? I don't think you want to, because 20 is your marginal cost. So you want marginal cost at least. And listen one thing, I'm not saying that you will sell this for 20 only. I'm using the word minimum. So Rukaya, ever in life you want to sell anything for minimum? You always want to sell for more and more, but that's the minimum that I'm telling you. Okay? Yeah. So 20 for this and 80 for this. 80 for this. You know why? Because these 60,000 also you don't want to sell less than 60. Sorry, less than 80. Because you can sell the same in the external market. So is this rule clear to all of my friends? Come on, say yes or no. Is this rule clear to you to all of you once and for life? Say yes or no. External selling price less internal savings. So remember, if there is spare capacity, the minimum is 20. Yeah, transfer perspective, seller's perspective. Yeah. And if there is no spare capacity, so for those units, it will be external selling price less cost internal savings. Okay, done. Now, should I rub this portion, this one, because I need space now. Should I rub this portion, guys? Because I know that I can write here. Okay, for this 20,000, the minimum is 20, and for this 20 and for these 60,000, the minimum is 80. Okay, fine. Okay. Now let me rub this. Okay. So the rule is what you need to remember. Bases are also given to you now. I'm not just asking you to learn the rule and that's it without the logics. No, this is not what I'm doing. I'm giving you both the things so that when you get stuck somewhere in rule, you know the basics behind that. Done. Clear. Seller perspective, done. Now, fine. The rule is clear. Now, I will not waste time in the exam now. Now, in exam, what I'll do? Listen, what you will do in exam. Let's do one thing. What you will do in exam. If you are in this case, what you would have done? The first thing you would have looked is how much is the seller spare capacity. First, you would have found spare capacity, okay? So that's 20,000, right? You know the internal demand is of 80,000, right? Agreed? So what you would have done first was you first would have found out the spare capacity. And this you could have done like this. 180 minus 200,000 minus 180. That's 20,000, right? Getting the point? So you know that you will fulfill this 80,000 demand by 20,000 spare capacity, and the transfer price of that minimum would be the marginal cost, that is 20. Done. Done. Now, if you wanted to fulfill 80,000 demand, 20,000 done from spare. So remaining are left how many? Tell me. Remaining are left how many? Tell me. It's 60,000. And I have made the rule for you. And the rule is for those which are not spare, the transfer price is external selling price less internal saving. So how much is the external selling price? It's 80. And you just figure out 80. Done. That's it. Found out from seller perspective. In few minutes, I've done that. In few minutes, I've done that. Okay? Understood? Say yes or no. Great. Now, after seller perspective, I've applied the general rule on seller perspective. Now the buyer's perspective. I'm making a rule for you people. Remember this. And what is the rule? Yeah, so that's why I didn't deducted anything from 80, my friend. If there would have been, so I would have deducted that from 80 to bring that figure to a lower amount. Okay, Umair? Now, what's the buyer's perspective maximum? Remember, the rule is what? Lower of between external purchase price versus internal price. Okay? lower of for external purchase price versus internal price. Okay? Getting the point? Yes or no? And okay, let's make it more simple. Listen, what I'm doing is I'm just writing here one thing. Maximum would be what? External purchase price. Okay. Now, for buyer, what would be the maximum one? Listen, guys. For buyer, what would be the maximum one? External purchase price. Listen, buyer will never want to pay anything more than buyer can get from outside. Do you agree? Now, if you are the buyer, would you want to pay anything more than where it is? Anything more than 65? Come on, tell me. Would you want to pay anything more than 65? Say yes or no. No. That's it. Finish. Done. Problem solved. 65 is the max buyer will pay to you for the internal transfers. 65 max the buyer will pay for you for the internal transfers. Agreed? Done? Clear? Sorted out? Say yes or no. Sorted out? Okay, perfect. That's it. That's it. Done. Last, for group, what we need to find? For group, what we need to find? What we need to find? We need to find these two things. Okay? We need to find these two things, right? The units to transfer and the transfer price for that. Now, you tell me very quickly. It's done, guys. You tell me. For this 60,000, for this 60,000, tell me, you offered the price of 80. Will buyer willing to buy for 80? Say yes or no. Because buyer has an option of 65. Will buyer buy? Yes or no? Come on, tell me. No. Will not buy. Okay? Which means for this 60,000, it's clear. For this 60,000, it's clear that buyer will buy from external market at 65. Okay? And seller, because you are also shifting from the external market, remember? So seller will sell again back to external market for 80. No effect on anyone. In fact, a best decision for the group for the 60,000. Optimum decision for the group for the 60,000. Agreed? Agreed. Optimum decision for the group for the 60,000. Yes or no? Buyer will say, no, I don't want. My maximum is 65. Seller will say, okay, fine. I was shifting this for you only. So, no issues. I'll sell it outside. You buy from outside. Done. So, these 60,000 will not be transferred. Will not be transferred internally. Okay? So, so we are left with how much units? Come on, tell me. We are left with how much units? It's 20,000 only. 20,000 only. Okay? So now tell me for this what I need to do. Seller is saying I'll sell this for minimum 20, and buyer is willing to buy for maximum 65. Okay, minimum 20, maximum 65. Tell me, what will be the transfer price? It's the range. And what's the range? It will be between 20 and 65. Between 20 and 65. And negotiation will be done. So guys, done. Tell me, did you got the answer of two things that I told you are the most important in every question? And what's that? Units to transfer and the price. Tell me, units to transfer are how much? Units to transfer are how much? 20,000. Units to transfer are 20,000. Okay? Clear? Clear? Come on, tell me, clear or not? Yes. And what is the price range now? It's between 20 and 65. Minimum for seller, maximum for buyer. It will be somewhere in between 20 and 65. 20 and 65. Okay? Done? Agreed? Yeah. So they will negotiate with each other. When you are writing a theoretical answer, you will say they will negotiate. But because we are doing a calculative answer right now, so I'll tell you what to do. Yeah, I'm going towards that. Okay. Now, before I move towards that, let's conclude. Listen, this is conclusion. Listen, listen, listen. The group changed the policy, and the proposed policy is that they can do business with each other. Sorry, they can buy from outside. Okay. Done? Now, what's the question is? The question is saying calculate maximum profit earned by the bath company if transfer processing is optimized. Okay, optimized. Now you are in examination and you don't know that what will be the units to transfer and what will be the transfer price now. So I am telling you what to do. Because you are given with a hint, and the hint is ensure maximization of company profit. Ensure maximization of company profit. So what should come in your mind? Rizwan Maniya $1,000,000 points. What? Rizwan Maniya $1,000,000 points. Because you don't know how to do this. So what will come in your mind? Tell me. Come on. Come on, tell me. The seller's perspective. The seller's perspective. Okay? For that, you need to find out minimum transfer price. And that you will do through what? Are you listening me, everyone? You will do through general rule. Okay? And what is the rule? I've made it clear for you what is the rule. For spare units, minimum marginal cost. Minimum marginal cost. And for units that are not spare, external selling price less internal savings. Is the rule clear? Tell me yes or no. You can directly follow the rule. Yes or no? Okay. Then go to buyer's perspective and think of the maximum price. What is the maximum for the buyer? Tell me. The maximum is external purchase price. External purchase price. Okay? Clear? And then come to the group perspective. And from group perspective, just figure out two things: units to transfer and the price range. So how will you do it? You know that these 20,000 will only be transferred. Okay? So these 20,000 price range will be what? Minimum for seller and maximum for buyer. Minimum for seller and maximum for buyer. Done? So you got the answer. that internal transfers now will be for how many units? 20,000 units at a price range of 20 and 65. And now, considering this, you can do your workings. So now 20,000 units and the price range could be 20 and 65. And 60,000 purchased from outside. Exactly. Purchased from outside. 60,000 purchased from outside. This is internal and 60,000 purchased from outside. Okay. So should I complete the working now for you people? That would take 2 minutes now only. Should I complete the working for you? Okay. So see what I'm going to do here. Magic. Just copy the entire stuff. Just paste it here. Just paste it here. Okay. And make the necessary changes only. You know the new policy now? Yes. What is that? Internal transfer 20,000. Okay. At a price range of 20-65. Fine. Okay. So let's now do the workings. Let's change the figures. Are you ready? Yes. Now tell me, internal transfer will be for how many units? 20,000. And what is the price? Okay. Now tell me, what price should I take? 20 or 65? 20 or 65? It's up to you. You can take any one. You can take 20. You can take 65. It's up to you. Not an issue. Not an issue. Not an issue. Okay? Not an issue. Because at group level, these two will be cancelled out. You know, intra-company cancelled out. So it's not an issue. So I'll take 65 here. 20 as well you can take, okay? Done. Just observe, this changed, this also changed. Right? For divisions, the answer will be different, but not for group, because this will be cancelled out at group level. Okay, Ahmed? Now, how many units it will sell outside now? Because 20,000 is internal transfer. So how many it will sell outside? Tell me. 180. Yeah, come on, I need your replies, please. 180. Done? And the answer for division B is clear. Nothing more to do. See? Nothing more to do. The formulas were already there. Everything was already there. Done. Okay? Clear? Great. Let's come here. The revenue for buyer is same. No change. No change. Internal purchase is of how many units? Remember? Internal units. Purchase of how many units it was? 20,000, right? 20,000, right? You can see here 20,000. Okay? Yeah, we have to make on the basis of new policy now. Yeah. So how many buyer will buy from outside? How many buyer will buy from outside? Come on, tell me. We took a decision here. Where is that? Here is the decision. Yeah. See, 65 will buy 60,000 at 65. Remember? Rate minus 65 into 60,000. Everyone, are you with me? Okay? Done? Any issues? That's it. No other change. No other change. The profit is clear for division A as well? No, 240 no. Okay. Now for group, let's finalize. Is this working okay for group? Tell me yes or no. Yes or no? Yes, that's okay. Great. No internal sales. No internal purchase. Okay. But should I take this now? This is an external purchase. Should I take this now? This is not intra-company. This is not intra-company. Okay. Yes, I should take this. That's it. Answer is done. Nothing more to do. The rest all will be same. This is the magic of copy paste. Just go to this 10th option to just input brackets, commas and everything. 10th option from here. Here you go. Done. That's it. Understood the mindset? The mindset is this. Seller perspective minimum using general rule. I've made the rule for you. Spare capacity, marginal cost. Not spare capacity, external price. Less savings. Buyer perspective, go for the higher. Go for the maximum, which is external purchase price. Then come towards the group perspective and take a decision. How many units will be transferred and the price range. Based on that, do your calculations. No, profit has increased. Profit has increased. See the magic of general rule. The profit previously was how much? All the three. Check the profits for all the three. Okay. And now check the profits for all the three. Increased for all the three. It increased for all the three. See? Increased. So that's the beauty of general rule. Your profit increase. You can even take 20, Priyanka, because listen, either you take 20 or 65, group profit will not change. This will not change. Individual will change, but group profits will not change because you just cancel out these each other, right? At group, we just cancel out. Either you take 20 or 65, this just cancels out and the group profits remains the same. So it doesn't matter. Okay? Are you happy? Say yes or no. Yeah, that's okay. You can add a line. So this is the $1 million technique. Remember. And now if you look at this portable garage company question, you will be shocked to see that this was again tested in a different way. See, again, see what it says. Assuming optimization of group profit. See, the same thing. Number of units that they should transfer. Number of units that they should transfer. Again, you will use the general rule here. Done? Easy? Again, see, minimum transfer price. Work out minimum transfer price. You can use this rule. Here it is asking for the units and here it is asking for the transfer price, minimum transfer price. Not the range, minimum transfer price. This is portable garage company question in front of you. Understood? It's a universal rule that I've mentioned here. This one. So I hope this went well for you people. I hope I took my time, but I did cover the things in the way that it should be. I tried to cover both the questions of transfer pricing today, and I hope this is all clear to all of you. Now, Before I end, I'm already above the time. Those who are not part of my group, please send me a quick WhatsApp message at this number so that I can add you in the group. And what's your feedback about transfer price? Did I made this easy or not? Come on. This was a big challenge for me. Transfer price. Did I made this easy or not? What's your feedback? Come on, guys. I tried my best. I gave my best. So what's your feedback? Are the rules good for you? Your feedback is important. Everybody, please. You should try portable garage on your own now. Okay, thank you very much. After the session, do give ACCA feedback about transfer pricing, especially how it became easier for you. Thank you very much. Be part of the group. I'll add you in the group. We'll share the $1 million plan with you. Tomorrow is also a very, very important day. Please make sure you do attend. And then we have a grand revision as well. So I'll share the details of grand revision tomorrow. Until then, take care. Bye.